What is the deal, beautiful people? It's your boy Ramon, Lifestyles Defined. Let's talk about Samsung. Back again with the white vans or the Galaxy Note 7, whichever you would prefer. So what do we have here? There's a lot of strangeness going on here. I gotta be honest with you. A lot of this is striking me by surprise. So first, and not maybe as strange as the name, they did this Microsoft thing where they went straight from 8 to 10. Here they went from the 5 to 7. And I think the logic behind it is fine. They didn't want to, you know, the Galaxy S7 was such a big hit and such a dope phone. And Samsung did such a great job at giving people what they wanted in that phone. It would be kind of silly to turn around and then sort of call this the Galaxy Note 6. And I think the reason they skipped the 6 the first time is really something to do with Apple, and they didn't want to be behind Apple when they came out with the iPhone 7. Whatever, who cares? But yeah, so they skipped a number, and here we go with the Note. Now, in almost when you say the word Galaxy Note, it's synonymous with cutting edge specs, the best of the best on the market. This is where it got strange for me. The Note 7 is carrying flagship spec, yes, but just barely enough. And I thought this was interesting. So we get that Qualcomm, the Qualcomm 820. Is it the 820? It is the 820, and that's the one that we see in pretty much all of the flagships today, especially something like the Axon 7, which I spoke about in a previous video. And we'll talk about why that's important here. But you get that 820, you get 4 gigs of RAM, and of course it coming out the door with a 64 gig version of internal storage. So that's dope. And they upped the battery from a 3000 milliamp in the last Note to a 3500 milliamp, which I think is cool. That's ample battery enough. And then on the camera side, it's got the same 12 megapixel camera that the regular S7 had, with that 1.7 aperture rating. And that camera's, make no mistake, that camera is creme de la creme, best on the market perhaps. And we see a lot of that here. And then of course there is the IP68 rating. This thing is waterproof and dustproof. And being a Note, you get the S Pen. And did I mention expandable memory? No, I didn't. So again, these are things that Samsung was highly accused of. If you look back in the heyday and why people would hate on Samsung, you know what, their designs were terrible. They were all plastic and yada yada yada, and then they fixed it. And in order for them to fix that, they made it thinner and beautiful, but they lost the waterproof. They lost the expandable storage. They got smaller batteries. They fixed all of that. They fixed all of that with the Note 7. I'm sorry, with the Galaxy 7. Now they're doing it again with the Note 7. So the strangeness for me here is one, the specs are not leapfrogging what we've seen on the market before. In fact, it's playing second fiddle to what's already been out. And then two, the Note is now behind the regular Galaxy 7. This is something we haven't seen before. Usually the Note with its phablet, the big screen, it's got a 5.7 inch display, by the way, something that you know it's coming. You know Samsung does beautiful displays. You really expect it to come out the door swinging. So I don't know if even a Qualcomm 830 exists. I don't know what the hell that is, but I expected to see it in here. I expected to see 6 gigs of RAM on here. Didn't see it. I'm glad to see the waterproofing is there. I'm glad to see the camera is there, but I expected more from the camera. Maybe we get a 14 megapixel sensor, still keeping it small, but doing a lot more interesting stuff with the software. I mean, I think Samsung fans are gonna be happy. I don't think anyone has been wowed here by what we see. Given how dope the Galaxy S7 was, I think the Note is just as dope. It's just in a bigger package. And I like what they did with the design. They really streamlined it. So it's got the same curves that we all love on the Edge series. And those curves are also on the bottom of it. So it looks like it looks like it's easy to pick up on a table, to be honest with you, but it's a much more uniform design and you get all of the functionality. Literally the only thing this thing is missing that I could think about is a removable battery, and I'm okay with that. And also, just for shits and giggles, there's an iris scanner that people are talking about, but when Microsoft did it on the Windows Phone, it was shit. Now all of a sudden Samsung's doing it. It's the coming of Jesus. Fuck out of here with that. If you told me it was silly on my Lumia 950, then it's silly here. I don't want to hear anything else about it. But all in all, I think Samsung failed to set the tone going into the end of this year. In fact, now I'm a little worried at what Apple is Apple going to show up and just completely destroy them, or is Apple going to do pretty much this and do more of the same? But all things considered, I really do like what I see here with the Note. I think it is the Note 7. I think it's dope. I see that they made their improvements to the pen and there's more sensitivity, yada yada yada. Would I myself buy another Samsung product? Fuck no. I had a hell of a honeymoon period with my, get this, Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. I love that device, did not love the name, and as time went by, the TouchWiz UI, which they don't call TouchWiz anymore, just started to act the ass. Could not deal with it anymore, had to get rid of it. And for that reason, I don't trust Samsung. This thing's launching with a Marshmallow, and they're saying it's going to get Nougat. When? If I know Samsung like you know Samsung, the Samsung S8 will be on the market before it gets the update. And that was part of my disdain for Samsung when they announced the regular Galaxy S7. They were on the stage toting new hardware, yet my S6 Edge Plus was still not running on Marshmallow. I didn't like that at all. I still don't trust Samsung, but overall, really dope device. God damn, it looks so good. It's so hard to refuse. Wish they sold a version of this that just had straight Google. Wishful thinking. My name is Ramon. I want to know how you guys feel about this. Do you think it is dope? Are you going to be clamoring to get this thing when it comes out? Or do you think it's more of the same? Or do you think that the Axon 7, and this is what I was alluding to earlier, the Axon 7 and all of its madness comes in at $400? This guy starts at $7. I don't know if the Galaxy is $300 better than something like an Axon 7 or Axon, whatever you call it. Holla at me in the comments, man. I'm out of here. Peace.